Accomplishments are the meat of your resume. They are the most important part. But how do we actually write a resume accomplishment or achievement? What should it include? And quantifiable accomplishments, how do those work? If you want weekly tips, tricks, and advice that will help you advance your job search faster, then you're in the right place. I post new videos every Tuesday and will be returning to live videos every Thursday, starting again in January 2021. So hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell to get notifications for our next video and when we go live. My videos will equip you with some of the most valuable tools to make your job search easier, because job searching shouldn't be this hard. I'm Kamara Toffolo, resume writer, LinkedIn consultant, and job search strategist who helps established professionals dare to do work differently and land great fitting gigs. All resumes should be accomplishments-based resumes. The reason they're so important is because they demonstrate the skills and strengths that you're claiming, and they give the reader an opportunity to visualize you in action. We're going to use Darryl Philbin's resume as an example. Don't worry, Darryl, you don't need Clippy to help you write your resume.
Combining inventory systems makes sense on paper, but printers and paper ship differently. It will be faster to deliver them separately instead of waiting on everything to come in.
You wouldn't need more trucks?
Not at all. There's a way it can be scheduled. I'll sketch this out downstairs.
Oh, look at you.
Look at that picture that you drew. Nice job.
When I see a well-written resume, I think to myself, hey, nice racks. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about rack, result, action, and context. You may have heard about the CAR approach to writing a resume accomplishment. I like to flip that and go for the rack approach instead. I like to lead with the result. That way, it's the first thing that the reader will read when they are reading an accomplishment bullet. So let's work with Darryl's logistics and inventory management idea and break down how rack might look and apply in this scenario. Let's say that Darryl's idea resulted in a boost in on-time deliveries and efficiency. That would be the result. His action would be optimizing logistics. And the context would be the management of shipping different types of products. Bringing this all together, an accomplishment bullet for Darryl might read like this: increased on-time deliveries by optimizing logistics of different product lines.
Since Andy promoted me to assistant regional manager, I've been trying to step my game up, be more productive. In fact, you know what? Let's knock out a few more of these sound bites while we're here. Whoa, that person has really gotten him or herself into quite a predicament.
Now let's talk about quantifiable accomplishments. Quantifiable accomplishments obviously bring numbers into our accomplishments. The reason these numbers can be so useful is because numbers can really help the reader quickly visualize the impact of your work. But how do we actually arrive at a quantifiable accomplishment? The way to do that is to ask yourself a few different questions about your accomplishment. These questions include how much, how many, or how often. So continuing with Darryl's last accomplishment bullet that we looked at, it's very possible that Darryl would be able to quantify this, and in doing so would add some major impact to that accomplishment. So let's dig into this. I suspect that in his role, Darryl really kept a close eye on delivery metrics. So we can consider beefing up this bullet to something like increased on-time deliveries 25% by optimizing logistics of different product line shipments. Or we could even consider reversing it, something like decreased frequency of delayed shipments 25% by optimizing logistics of different product line shipments. Or maybe Darryl's idea even had a direct bottom line impact, like cost savings in the reduction of penalties. That could read something like saved $100,000 in delayed shipment penalties by optimizing logistics of different product line shipments. So as you can see here, the rack approach still applies even when we're quantifying our accomplishments. The only difference here is that we're adding a number for more oomph.
Coordinated and implemented receipt, storage, and delivery of over 2.5 billion units of inventory. 2.5 billion, Darryl? 2.5 billion units of what?
Paper material, ma'am.
Paper material?
Pieces of paper.
2.5 billion units sounds absurd. The situation Darryl's finding himself in and quantifying on his resume is one that many of us find ourselves in because of the pressure to quantify. But I'm here to alleviate some of that stress. What I want to tell you is that you don't always have to quantify accomplishments. Quantifying can be useful, but it's not always necessary and it doesn't always work. So in this case, I probably wouldn't have even recommended to Darryl that he quantify what he was trying to get across. Instead, considering that Darryl was going for another leadership role, he could have had more impact by describing the scope of his role. I might consider writing something like this: oversee all logistics and warehouse operations for Dunder Mifflin's most profitable branch. This bullet, while we're not using numbers, allows the reader to develop an image in their mind of how many shipments might be coming and going, given that this is Dunder Mifflin's most profitable branch. If Darryl really wanted to quantify accomplishments, he could have quantified in other ways, and some ideas that come to my mind include the number of shipments daily, weekly, or monthly that he manages, his department's track record for on-time deliveries, we've already looked at that, cost reductions, or maybe a safety record like number of days without incident. There are many different possibilities. But what Darryl really should not have done in this case was attempt to use the biggest number possible, because at 2.5 billion, the number started to lose all meaning. Oh, hey, future Kamara here. One more thing I wanted to mention around quantifiable accomplishments is we never want to use a number or use numbers when they will detract from the work that we've done or diminish it. In Darryl's example, obviously he's going the other direction. He's using huge numbers that just seem ridiculous. But we also don't want to go to the other extreme and use small numbers that make it look like we do play small or that our work was insignificant. So that was just one more thing I wanted to mention. If you want more examples and ideas of how to approach non-quantifiable accomplishments, check out the article I wrote on JobScan, which is linked in the description below. Depending on how old your resume is, you might have a section of its own that's called Achievements and Awards or Awards and Achievements, where you've included all of your accomplishments. This is not how a resume should look. You need to reallocate your accomplishments under the roles in which they were achieved. This also includes any awards that you may have won at work. Again, accomplishments are the most important part of your resume. Everything is secondary to accomplishments. Accomplishments are really like mini stories that show that you're qualified to do the job to which you're applying. And here's my cue for you. How have you written your resume accomplishments? Have you used the CAR approach in the past? Will you now start using the rack approach? Tell me in the comments below. I make a lot of videos, but I also make free guides to help you in your job search. Make sure to grab a copy of my cover letter, guide, and checklist by signing up for it using the link that I've noted in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend, and click on my face over there and subscribe. I'll see you next time.